It's time to live your stronger life. Hey, I'm Sammy, physio coach and nutritionist, and your hype girl for creating your stronger life. Here, we ditch the quick fixes and build real strength inside and out. So whether you're here to tone up, drop the body fat, build muscle, mental resilience, or ditch the diet culture, or just feel bloody good in your skin, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. Okay, let's pretend you've been eating 1,200 calories for 6 months now. You've been training 5 days a week, you're consistent, you're not cheating on the weekends, you are genuinely doing everything that you think you're supposed to do, but your weight has not moved in 8 weeks. And then you're coming to me and you're thinking, I need to eat less, I need to go do more cardio. And I'm going to tell you now what you actually need is the total opposite. You need to eat more. I know how that sounds, but stay with me because this is one of the most important episodes I have recorded, I think. Well, you can let me know. I think it's going to explain something that a lot of you have been experiencing without having the right words for it other than frustrated and feeling like you are being stuck. And so today we're going to talk about what happens when you constantly undereat, what it does to your body, how to know if it's happening to you, and what to do about it without undoing everything that you have worked so hard for. So first of all, let's talk about the signs that you're not eating enough. So first of all, we're going to see if this is relevant to you because undereating doesn't always look like what you would expect. It doesn't mean you're always dizzy and passing out. It doesn't mean that you're losing like stacks and stacks of weight really, really quickly or anything like that. It's often much more subtle than that you don't even realize. Constantly fatigued, not just tired after a big week, but just tired all the time. Tired at 9 a.m., tired after sleeping 8 hours. Your body's just not getting enough fuel to run properly. You're flat, you're weak in your training sessions. Your strength has stopped progressing. The weights that felt manageable a month ago now are starting to feel a bit heavy, and your sessions feel like a slog. Food obsession. You think about food a lot, not in a fun way, foodie way, in a I can't stop thinking about it way, I just finished eating, when's my next meal way. This is your brain responding to restriction, and it's kind of like a survival signal saying, hey girl, we need more food. Losing your period or irregular cycles, this is a major red flag and one you need to take very seriously. When energy availability drops too low, your body deprioritizes reproduction. That's your body waving a very loud flag. Your skin, hair, or nails have changed. Dull skin, hair falling out more than usual, brittle nails. Your body's redirecting nutrients to critical functions and dropping the cosmetic ones. You're cold all the time, especially in your hands and feet. Your metabolism literally runs warmer when you're eating enough. When you're not, your body temperature drops to conserve energy. And your mood is all over the place. You're irritable, you're anxious, you're emotionally flat. Your brain needs glucose to regulate its mood. And when you're underfueled, emotional regulation really suffers as well. So if any of these have landed, this episode is for you. Okay, so let's talk about what's actually going on physiologically when you eat too little for too long. Your body is not a passive calorie burning machine. It is active and it is adaptive, and it has one primary goal: survival. So when your calories drop too low or they stay too low for too long, your body responds in a very predictable way. It slows down. This is called metabolic adaptation, and it happens in several ways. So your basal metabolic rate decreases, not massively, but it is meaningfully. Your body becomes more efficient at using less calories. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis drops. That's your non-exercise related movement, such as you're fidgeting, the house gets a little bit dirtier because you're not cleaning it, just general walking around. For lack of a better term, you just kind of get a little bit lazier without even realizing it. You start moving less unconsciously, less energy for spontaneous movement. The steps go down without you realizing it. Your hunger hormones shift. Leptin drops, ghrelin rises. Your hunger signals get louder and harder to ignore. Your thyroid output may actually decrease, and your thyroid hormone is partly responsible for your metabolic rate. So if it drops, your metabolism will slow a little bit further as well. Again, not massively, but it does happen. And your body starts holding onto fat more aggressively. More so, it's not so much that it's holding onto fat for survival mode. It's more that it's going to prioritize burning muscle over burning body fat because muscle is very expensive energy-wise to maintain. So it's going to preferentially burn through more muscle than it is to go through the body fat because it's trying to hold on to it a bit more with emergency reserves, and the muscle is a little bit easier to get rid of. And here's the most frustrating part of all of this. the harder you restrict, the more aggressively your body is going to adapt. There's a reason that most extreme dieters plateau the hardest. They've trained their body to survive on very little food. There's actually been a study on this. So it was like about The Biggest Loser, the research. So contestants lost dramatic amounts of weight through very severe restriction and excessive exercise. And then they researched them 6 years down the track. Most of them had regained the weight, and their metabolisms were measuring around 500 calories per day lower than what they expected their daily calorie burn would be for their body weight at that point. So it does show that the adaptations persisted even after they regained the weight. And here's why it's really important to understand this. Chronic restriction doesn't just make fat loss slower, it makes it harder with every round. You restrict harder, you lose some weight, you lose a lot of muscle, your body adapts, you plateau. You restrict harder, you lose some weight, you lose a lot more muscle, your body adapts harder, you plateau. You get frustrated, you break the diet, usually by eating a lot because your hunger hormones are screaming. You gain that fat back fast because your fat cells are primed to absorb it and your metabolism is running slower, so it's easier for you to fall into a calorie surplus. Then you feel like a failure and you start again. Each round of this cycle gets harder, takes longer to lose, and comes back faster. And this is what happens when your body responds to these repeated cycles of extreme dieting and stress. And the way out is not more restriction. You haven't ruined everything. You can reverse that. The body can adapt to this. It can adapt to something better. You just have to give it enough time and patience and get out of that focus of weight loss, and start just supporting and healing the body first. When you stop chasing weight loss and you start chasing just looking after your health, then you are going to be able to achieve this. It's just going to be a longer play. So here's how to start eating more without a panic. Because I know the idea of eating more calories feels counterintuitive if your goal is fat loss. So I'm going to be very clear about this. I'm not saying eating at a massive surplus and abandoning your goal. I'm just saying get your calories back up to a level that your body can actually function at, and do it gradually and do it strategically. So first, figure out where you actually are. If you've been eating under 1,200 calories and you're over 75 kilos and you're training 5 days a week, your maintenance is probably going to be closer to 2,000 calories or more. So you're already in a significant deficit, but your body's adapted to it. And the gap between what you're eating and what your body actually needs is quite large. So the next step is going to be, you're going to gradually add calories. Some mentally don't care and they can just jump straight back up to their theoretical maintenance and just roll with it. But for many women, this terrifies them. So instead, go with a reverse dieting process. It's like, scientifically speaking, it's not any better, but psychologically speaking, it does help a lot of women. So that's why I recommend it in certain circumstances. So you're just going to increase by 100 to 150 calories per week and keep an eye on the scale. Some weight will come on initially, and that is 100% normal. It's mostly water and glycogen getting stored in your muscles. It is not fat gain. This is just your muscles refueling. It is not uncommon from a post-diet to a maintenance phase for the scale to go up by 2 kilos. Like during that whole process, like that is totally fine. The next step is prioritize protein through the increase. As you bring your calories up, make sure your protein stays high. This is going to protect your muscle and help your body prioritize lean mass over fat mass as it adjusts. The next step is be patient. Rebuilding takes time, weeks to months. Like, be patient. Stop giving a shit about the scale. Stop giving a shit about dropping body fat. Focus on your long-term health here, because if you do that, the payoff is going to be so much more rewarding. Your body's going to respond to the food normally again, where you'll actually be able to go into a small to moderate deficit and actually produce real results that last for life, rather than staying stuck on 1,000 calories and hating your life. This is called a maintenance phase or a diet break, and it is one of the most underused strategies in fat loss. But if you constantly stay stuck and terrified of calories and terrified of the scale, you will never ever achieve this. And I'm going to be blanket statement here. It will keep you stuck forever. It will destroy your muscles, your bones, and your health. It is something that's even if you're really terrified, I want to say suck it up and just do it, because you need to do it for your health. So I want to keep talking to you about this part, because this is the part that everyone is so terrified of. The part that has been eating under 1,200 calories for so long that the fact that 1,600 calories feels terrifying. 1,600 calories to me is still quite a hefty deficit. And that part that sees any scale increase as a failure, that is the person, if you are that woman that is forever going to look at that scale, you are forever going to stay stuck. Until you can start breaking free from caring about the scale, you will never achieve full happiness and confidence and freedom in your body. Eating enough is not giving up on your fat loss goal. It is the prerequisite and it is essential for your goal to actually start working. A body that is properly fueled trains harder, recovers better, holds more muscle, and responds to a deficit much more efficiently than a body that is chronically undereating and fighting for survival. You are not going to out-restrict your way to the results that you want, but you can out-fuel your way there. And eating enough is not the enemy, it is the foundation. Those strong, toned, confident, beautiful women that you see on Instagram that you're like, man, I wish I could look like that. They are not restricting themselves silly. They are fueling their body properly. When I'm focusing on building muscle and minimizing fat gain, just really focusing on building muscle, my calories are around 2,700. I'm in a fat loss phase right now, just doing a little mini cut, and my calories are at 2,100, not 1,600, 2,100, and I'm dropping body fat. I think a lot of women just don't realize what their body is capable of because they're too afraid to actually do anything other than stay at the lowest amount of calories possible and the biggest amount of cardio possible. And they think that's what's going to work. But it's like, you know what the real secret is? All of us over here that you look at going, dang, I wish I could look strong and toned like them, are not doing what you're trying to do. And yet, as soon as we tell you what is the better way to do it, you're like too scared to give it a go. It makes no sense. You're literally going around in circles and circles and circles. It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And for many women, that is exactly what you're doing. And I can understand why, because thank you social media and thank you skinny culture and thank you for years and years and years of diet culture has ingrained it in it that is the way to do it. So anything different feels wrong. But if you can look at all the proof of all of us doing it in this healthy way, let us be your guiding light. Please, please, please. So let's bring it home. Otherwise I could ramble on about this forever. Chronic undereating is real. It's common and it's actively working against you to get the results that you want. And often it's undereating followed by binging into a surplus, which brings you back to square one, followed by extreme dieting, followed by binging. And so that cycle is what's keeping you stuck. And so they're the signs that you need to look out for, because you can be eating in a surplus in those binges and still be under eating and under fueling your body. So constant fatigue, flat sessions, food obsession, irregular cycles, mood changes. And it's your body adapting to the restriction by slowing down, dropping your activity levels and ramping up your hunger and prioritizing burning through muscle and not body fat. And the solution is not more restriction. It is eating enough to support your body, your training, and your life. One other thing that I just thought of as well that I was thinking about as I was finishing up that last sentence was another thing I do hear sometimes is women say, but I am basically at maintenance because I restrict myself all week long and then I just blow out on the weekend. So that kind of levels out, right? I mean, mathematically it might, but when you blow out on the weekends, it tends to be with low nutritional value foods. And then during the week, you're really restricting yourself on like nutritious foods, but not enough of it. So therefore your overall picture is a very undernourished body with calorie balance going all over the place. And to me, that is still underfueling. You can be under eating and under fueling and still be in a calorie surplus if you're eating shit all the time. If you're eating a nice, healthy, balanced diet, then you could be eating a really healthy diet and be under eating as well. It's not just, yes, the food choices are a massive one, and then it's also going to be the calories and the macros as well. We need to put the whole picture together. But anyways, I digress. Just eat more, stop being afraid to eat more, stop giving a fuck about the scale, and start lifting heavy weights, and your life will be like so much better. But I know that it's really hard. So I hope that I can start to plant some seeds in your mind that what you're doing now doesn't work and what you need to do is exactly everything that I just talked about in this episode. Anywho, I hope this helps. Let me know if it does. Come message me on Instagram and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and subscribe. And I'd love if you shared this on your Instagram and tag me Sammy_livestrong. And if you'd like to learn more about my coaching and join the Project Livestrong family, please message me Livestrong on Instagram and I'll see how I can help. I'll see you next time.